Hello everyone, welcome back to Pabbly. So in this video, we are going to learn how to create a Jaldi lead on Google Forms submission. So here I've created a contact form using Google Forms, and in this case I want whenever a new form submission is made on my Google Forms, automatically using that response details, a new lead should be created on my Jaldi account. So to automate this entire process, we are going to use an automation software named as Pabbly Connect, in which we need to connect our trigger and our action. So in this process, our trigger application will be Google Forms and our action application will be Jaldi. So to learn this process step by step, let me take you to my screen. Welcome to my screen. So here you can see a contact form which I have created using Google Forms, and here I have taken some basic fields such as first name, last name, email and phone number. So in this case I want whenever a new form submission is made on my Google Forms, automatically using the response details, a new lead should be created on my Jaldi account. So here to build this connection, I need to connect my Google Forms with Jaldi. And to build this entire connection, we are going to use an automation software named as Pabbly Connect. This is the homepage of Pabbly Connect. You can visit this page by simply browsing for the URL pabbly.com/connect. Here you can see two options, that are sign in and sign up free. If you're a new user, click on sign up free and get free 100 tasks every month to explore the software. And if you're an existing user, click on sign in. Here I'm an existing user, so I'm clicking on sign in. After signing in, here you can see all Pabbly apps window where you can see all the applications of Pabbly. Here to integrate my applications, I'm going to use Pabbly Connect. This is the dashboard of Pabbly Connect, and here to build our connection, we need to create a new workflow. So for that, I'm going to click on this create workflow button which is given on the top right corner. Now here in this create workflow dialog box, we have to give a name to our workflow. So here I'm going to give the name as create Jaldi lead on Google Forms submission. And here I'm going to select my folder as automations. You can select your folder as per your need. Also you can create multiple folders to save your workflows accordingly. And now to create a new workflow, I'm going to click on this create button. Now here in this workflow window, you can see we have successfully created a workflow with the name Create Jaldi Lead on Google Forms Submission. And here you can see two most important principles of an automation process, that are trigger and action. Where trigger says when this happens and action says do this. That means action is a response towards a trigger. Your automation can have a single trigger but multiple action steps. Now let's begin with our automation by simply setting up a trigger. So here I'm going to select my trigger application as Google Forms and my trigger event as new response received. And here you can see we have received a webhook URL. That means we are going to use this webhook URL to connect our Google Forms with Pabbly Connect. So here, following the instructions given below, here I've already logged in my Google Form account, and this is the form which I've created. So from here I'm going to click on this responses, and from here I'm going to click on this link to Sheets so that I can connect my Google Forms with Google Sheets. Here I'm going to click on this create. And here you can see I have successfully linked my Google Form with the Google Sheet. So now let's test this connection by simply submitting a response on our Google Form. So for that, let me take you to my form. Here I'm going to click on this preview changes. And here I'm going to enter a dummy data and do a test submission. So here for the first name, I'm going to enter the name as dummy, last name as user, email as dummy@pabblytudes.com, a random phone number. And now I'm going to click on this submit. And here you can see it says thanks for submitting your contact info. So now let's go and check our Google Sheet. And here you can see we have successfully received a response where we have received the first name as dummy, last name as user, email as dummy@pabblytudes.com and a random phone number. So with this, we have successfully tested this connection. So now let's move forward. And now what we are going to do is that we need to connect our Google Sheet with Pabbly Connect, so that whenever a new response is captured in this Google Sheet, automatically that response will also be captured by Pabbly Connect. So to build this connection, we are going to click on this extensions. And from here, we are going to click on the add-ons. And under this, I'm going to click on this get add-ons. And here under Google Workspace Marketplace, you have to search for Pabbly Connect webhooks. And here you have to install this in your PC. So here you can see it is already installed in my PC. So moving back. And after installing this Pabbly Connect webhooks on your PCs, you have to follow the same steps. So now moving back. And now again here I'm going to click on this extensions, and after installing this Pabbly Connect webhooks, you are going to receive an option for Pabbly Connect webhooks here, and from here you have to click on this initial setup. And here under initial setup you can see we have received an option for webhook URL and trigger column. So here for the webhook URL, let me take you back to Pabbly window. Here I'm going to copy this webhook URL. Moving back to Google Sheet, and here I'm going to enter the webhook URL. Now after entering the webhook URL, here it is asking for trigger column. So the trigger column will be a final data column on which if the data is added, the whole of that row data will be sent to the webhook URL. So here my last column will be column E. So here I'm going to enter the column as E. And after entering the webhook URL and trigger column, here I'm going to click on this submit. And here you can see it says setup configured successfully. So now after setting up the webhook URL, here I'm going to click on this send test and see whether we have successfully built this connection or not. So here I'm going to click on this send test. And here you can see it says test data sent successfully. So now let's go and check our Pabbly window. And here you can see we have received a successful response where we have received the timestamp, spreadsheet name, phone number, last name, first name and email address. But now let me take you back to Google Sheet, because here we have to perform another very important step so that we can receive new responses on Pabbly Connect easily. So for that, what we are going to do is that here we are going to click on this extension, and from here we are going to click on this Pabbly Connect webhooks. And now under Pabbly Connect webhooks, here we have to click on this send on event. And after doing this, automatically whenever a new response will be captured in our Google form, the same response will also be captured in Pabbly Connect. So moving back to Pabbly window, and with this we have successfully set up our trigger. Now let's move to action step, and here I'm going to select my action application as Jaldi and my action event as add a lead. And now to connect my Jaldi account with Pabbly Connect, here I'm going to click on this connect. Here to build a new connection, I'm going to select add new connection. If your Jaldi account is already connected with Pabbly Connect, then you can click on select existing connection. And now here to build a new connection, it is asking for a token. So here following the instructions given below, here I've already logged in my Jaldi account. And from here I'm going to click on the settings. And now under settings, I'm going to select integrations. And under integration, you can see website integration. So here I'm going to copy my API key. Moving back to Pabbly window, and here I'm going to enter my API key. So after entering the token, here I'm going to click on this save. And here you can see we are now successfully connected. So moving forward, and firstly here it is asking for campaign ID. So again in the instruction it says enter the campaign ID here. Note, to find the campaign ID, open the desired campaign and you will see the ID within the URL, example this. So here in my Jaldi account, I have already created a campaign. So here to show you my campaign, I'm going to click on this campaigns. And here under campaigns, you can see I have created one campaign with the name Pabbly Int. So here I'm going to click on this campaign. And here you can see in the URL, I have successfully received the campaign ID. So here I'm going to copy this. Moving back to Pabbly window, and here I'm going to enter the campaign ID. So now after entering the campaign ID, moving forward, and now here it is asking for lead first name, lead's last name, lead phone, lead email and lead uploaded notes. So here instead of entering these data manually, here I will map the data. Mapping data means insert data from previous step. That means here I will map the data from the response I have received in my Google Forms. Mapping makes a text dynamic so that whenever a new form submission is made in my Google Forms, automatically this previously existing details will be updated with the new one. So here I'm going to map the first name. Here I'm going to map the last name. Here I'm going to map the phone number. And lastly, here I'm going to map the email address. And now here lead uploaded notes is not a required field, so here I'm going to leave it blank, but you can add your details as per your need. So now here I'm done entering all the required data, and now I'm going to click on this save and send test request. And here you can see we have received a successful response where the result says single lead added. So now let's go and check our Jaldi account. Here I'm going to click on this all leads. And here you can see we have successfully created a new lead with the first name as dummy, last name as user, a random phone number, email as dummy@pabblytudes.com. So with this, we have successfully set up our automation. Now let's test our automation to check whether it is working or not. So to test our automation, we are going to submit a new response in our Google Forms. So for that, let me take you back to my Google form. So again, here I'm going to enter a dummy data and do a test submission. So here for the first name, I'm going to enter the name as test, last name as user, email as test@pabblytudes.com, a random phone number, and now I'm going to click on this submit. And here you can see it says thanks for submitting your contact info. So now let's go and check our Jaldi account. Here I'm going to refresh this window. And here you can see we have successfully created another lead with the first name as test, last name as user, a random phone number, and email as test@pabblytudes.com. So with this, we have successfully tested our automation. Now let me summarize this whole video for you. So here we have taken a trigger as Google Forms and an action as Jaldi, so that whenever a new response is received in my Google Forms, automatically using that details, a new lead should be created in my Jaldi account. If you want to use the same workflow, then you can find the clone link in the description box below. I hope you liked the video. Thanks for watching. Not only these applications, you can integrate many other applications with Pabbly Connect. If you have any doubt, you can contact us on support@pabbly.com. If you have any query, you can contact us on forum.pabbly.com. And if you have any pricing related issue, then you can contact us on www.pabbly.com. If you liked the video, please subscribe to our channel and share it with your friends.